Hi, my name is Don Amici, and we got a big event happening March 1st, the Check the Rhyme Fundraiser. I am here with Jasir. It's also your birthday celebration, right? And so I'm going to be hosting the event. It's going to be a big event. We're going to be raising money. We're going to be talking about that in a quick moment. But I had to dig into some big events. You got the Academy. You also have this thing called Heal. PTSD.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about a lot of this stuff that you got going on because you are deep into the community.
Yeah.
And I love when I get to meet people and work with people like you. So let's talk about a moment in your life when you realized that young people were kind of growing from trauma, not necessarily from the God-gift talents, and what made you want to kind of work with young kids and start help healing them. And first of all, when did you realize that?
The young kids part, I was married a few years back, and my stepkids was talk about me about my music all the time. I play old school hip hop all the time, right? So they would be like, "Why are you playing all that old rap?" Like, yeah. So one day I called him in the room. I said, "So what's your favorite song?" And he was like, "Future's Face Off." Mind you, like in the 7th grade at this time. I'm like, why do you listen to that? Like, what is that even about?
Right.
But I said, do me a favor, write that song down. Don't print it out. Write it down by hand.
Well, first of all, did they even know any of the lyrics, all of it, or
To Future? Yeah.
or did they just know like the hook part of it?
He don't really have like lyrics, but
because my ears only pick up, just bits and pieces of the words, and maybe my ears are not tuned into it.
From what I've heard of the song,
Yeah.
it's pretty much all a hook anyway. He don't
Okay.
have like no long verses, like you gotta dissect and be thinking deep about it. But I had him to write it down, and when he wrote it down, I told him to bring it back. But I also gave him another song. I gave him Melly Mel's The Message to write.
Okay.
And I said, so bring them both back. And when they brought it back, I had him to read his out loud, and he couldn't finish it because what he was saying. He knew it was bad to say. And then I happened to read Melly Mel's song, and then he was like. He read the whole entire song. And he was like, well, this is kind of happening stuff today. And he felt like kind of connected to it. And I took him to a Redman concert and a Method Man concert after that, just because he did it for me, just to show him what hip-hop is supposed to look like. But when I took him to the concert, he was really glued to the stage when Redman and them came on stage. I'm like, these kids don't even know what hip-hop is, but it's our job to educate them. If they don't know what it is, this is the reason why it's at the state that it's in right now, because no one's telling them what this is supposed to be like.
Do they understand that what Future is saying is real, or do they think it's just entertainment, or like what was their understanding of like Future's lyrics?
I mean, it's no different than us, to be honest. I'm not gonna act like they're an anomaly here, but like even with us, when we heard gangster rap, a lot of people thought gangbanging was a real thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you falling in love with somebody and you listen to Luther Vandross, you actually start believing what he's saying love is, and you start practicing it to a degree, right?
But, that's one of the things when you told me about the Academy and how this fundraiser on March 1st, you kind of raise money to kind of help teach these kids about the importance of what music and the things that they put in their mind is doing to themselves. I remember as a kid like believing everything that I heard, saw, consumed was real.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really know and understand the difference,
Okay.
I was like, I remember watching Menace to Society. I thought, and it was so real because I'm like, I grew up in spaces like that.
Yeah.
I remember listening to a lot of gangster music. I'm like, it seemed real. A lot of it's kind of entertainment, but a lot of it's also, you got a lot of kids out here mimicking what they see out on the streets, especially like a lot of these young kids now.
Yeah.
They walking around with these guns and out in the streets trying to prove a point that doesn't necessarily need to be proved.
Exactly.
So what was the response when you took them to the show, and like did they stop becoming Future fans, or did they really kind of like just saw a different level of music? I mean, what was an eye-opening experience for them?
I'm not sure if they stopped listening 100%, but I know that it gave them a different perspective of hip hop, because you know how the shows go. They have the openers for the main event, right?
Yeah.
So the guys that were opening for them, they were talking all of that type of music. They were not paying no attention to them. Like, but as soon as Red and them came on stage, they were glued to the stage the entire time. So I think it gave them a different perspective, definitely, of what hip hop could look like or should look like.
So you coined the term post-traumatic hood disorder for someone hearing that for the first time. Now, what is PTSD, and how is it showing up in our kids right now?
Good question. PTSD is basically what it stands for is post-traumatic hood disorders, right? So we have normalized so many dysfunctions in the neighborhood.
Yeah, gunshots, helicopters flying over. You know, I remember growing up in the hood. I grew up in the projects, and they used to dump people either shot or beat up. I remember one of my memories is we used to have these little playgrounds in the projects, and this dude got beat up, and he was screaming out for help for hours, and I was like, "Mom, let's call the cops," and she was like, "Nope, we're not getting involved." And for hours, he's yelling, "Help, help, help!" And so somebody finally called the cops, and they came and picked him up. And that kind of scarred me, you know. But there's like people that don't want to get involved, you know. And is that what you're talking about with hood trauma?
I mean, that's a big part. It's particularly the trauma you're talking about that you experienced from that situation. Because when you experience that type of trauma, when you go out and you hear a record talking about somebody getting shot or something, it comes normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's so many different pillars to this trauma I'm talking about, like the violence you're talking about, single parenthood, poverty, drugs, over sexualization, diets, food. Like there's so many different things,
different levels to it.
Different levels to it.
I didn't even think about food, diets, single parent households,
all of that.
Is there one type of trauma that you're running into now that's more prevalent than the other? I mean, I grew up with violence, you know, and things are a little bit different. We're in LA and here. Things are a little bit different in LA. I grew up in the 80s.
Me too.
Things are different now. Is there something that's happening a little bit more different now than it was? Because gang culture is kind of different than it was then compared to now.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, the driving force to this whole hood situation is poverty.
Poverty, yeah.
And poverty is still here.
Yeah, LA has gotten. I mean, it was poverty then, but the gentrification is on steroids now.
Yeah,
it's on steroids now.
Yeah,
you know, and that does kind of like, you know, that type of trauma also, growing up in that and creating another cycle, you know, and keeping it going. You know, I grew up out of it. I tried to claw my way out of it, you know, which is very hard. But you know, there's still some people that are still stuck in it. You know? Does your programs help teach people to get out of it, or recognize that you're even in it?
It's a thing that I believe. Like when it depends on how deep the trauma is for you, particularly, right? But when people say I'm healed, I question that. Like, again, it depends on how deep the trauma ran for you, right? Some people's trauma is deep that you really don't ever heal from it. It's like a parent passing away. You know what I mean? You never heal from that. Like, it's a day-by-day situation. Both of my parents are gone. So, like, it's a day-by-day situation. So, the things that I've seen when I grew up versus today, it's still the same.
You ever go to somebody and say, hey, you kind of are living with trauma, and they don't even recognize that they are living with trauma, and then when you try to talk to them about it, they're like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Yeah, like, no, this is how it's supposed to be.
There are a lot of functioning individuals. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Tammy Mack, and I said, you know, we're all just functioning people with, to some extent, a little bit of mental illness. We got an individual in the White House who's a narcissist, but he's functioning. He's the president of the United States. It shows you how far you can go with trauma at some point in life. But there are a lot of people out there who are just navigating life, going from either relationship to relationship, job to job, and just surviving with trauma. You know, how do you heal trauma?
You identify it first. You can't heal anything you can't put on the table. You can't get over alcohol until you walk into the AA class and say, I'm an alcoholic. That's probably why they tell you to say that.
Right.
I'm an alcoholic. My name is yada yada. I'm an alcoholic. Right. You got to admit it and acknowledge it first. That's the issue, though. Most people have normalized it so much that it's a part of the so-called culture, right? And now it's like, what are you talking about? Why are you tripping? Why you be in the house? You don't know what I want to say, right? Hey, why you acting like that? You grew up with us. Or you ate the same thing we ate. Right. Or you used to hang on the, like, no, I did. But I did grow up, as your Bible should tell you, right? When you put away childish things as a man grows, like you don't stay the same. Hopefully you don't. But when you realize that this is wrong, you have a choice, and you have to either stay in it or move away from it.
But you know what's hard though is looking in that mirror and seeing the reflection and accepting the fact that I am either a drug addict or I'm an alcoholic or I am these things that either society has deemed or I've deemed that are not good. And then you gotta like, what am I gonna do about it? Most people don't like the reflection.
For sure.
Most people like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Oh, I ain't got a drinking problem. I just like a little sip before I go to bed.
They like to mask it, basically.
Yeah, and if ain't nothing wrong with me, you know what I'm saying, it's like it's okay. We're all hiding something at the end of the day, but I'm gonna hide mine so I drink, but I ain't that drunk. I ain't out here slumped out on the streets every single day, at the end of the day. But that's just it is what it is. We got the big fundraiser coming up March 1st, Sunday, March 1st from 4 to 9. A lot of speakers going to be there. We're going to be raising money for the Academy, which I'm so happy for. I'm going to get to that in a second. A lot of programs try to save kids. What makes Check the Rhyme the Academy different from traditional youth programs?
That's another good question. I wonder who wrote that question. Wow. Okay. But what makes it different is that this is based upon music, of course, right? But it's rooted in the study of what they call neuromusicology and how music affects the behaviors of a person. And the big caveat to this whole thing is that music is really a part of our DNA, melanated people's DNA. And when you hear the djembe drum, I don't care if you practice anything African or not, you're going to actually move to that drum because it's a part of where you come from.
Right.
And that djembe drum, gave birth to all types of different genres of music as it went across the diaspora through the slave trade, right? So it gave birth to reggae, it gave birth to salsa, it gave birth to jazz, it gave birth to funk, soul, and then later on, of course, hip-hop. We're using hip-hop because it's the number one genre for our youth at this point. I don't think too many kids are listening to jazz and funk and blues at this point, but hip-hop is their blues. So we know that hip-hop is kind of running their generation, so we got to use that to reach their message and see where it's coming from. And what I've discovered is that if you have a problem with a child's having a problem with school or even discipline situations, check his playlist.
Check the playlist.
Check the playlist. Because I guarantee you, he's not listening to Beethoven. Okay? And if you listen to what he's listening to, then you watch his actions.
So the playlist is a reflection of him maybe trying to act out what he's hearing because of what he's consuming.
He's consuming. What you hear and what you think becomes what you say and what you do.
I used to think I wanted a kid when I moved into my 40s. I got all my children rearing out in my 20s, and I was like, I want to do it again. I don't know if I could be a parent like in today's time with all of this technology. It's got to be one of the hardest things going on.
Yes.
Right, because you've got the internet that you got to compete with, social media that you got to compete with, music now that you have to compete with, and you got to be on top of all of these things to find out what's going to influence your child. Back in the day, it was just TV and people,
your friends,
and your friends.
Yeah.
Now you've got a phone that you have to kind of put handles on, and then be on top of the kid, and then make sure that they're not doing everything, just so that they hopefully escape everything, which is hard. What do you do if you find out they're listening to a playlist that is detrimental to their behavior and that they're kind of mimicking in school? You know what I'm saying? Like they're listening to a lot of Future. Is that something that you kind of take away?
You would have to. Taking away is one thing.
But do you want to be that parent of like no more hip hop? I remember growing up, was it C. Dolores Tucker that was saying rap was detrimental?
Yeah.
And she had the big I forgot the name of that thing where she was rolling over CDs
the
back in the day.
steamroller, whatever it's called.
Is that our job now that we have to be that person?
No, she just did it wrong.
Okay.
Like her message wasn't wrong.
Okay.
Right? When you look at it, like Tupac was going against her for saying that back then. But look how Tupac died.
He died of gun violence.
Exactly. So she wasn't wrong about what she said. She was wrong about not sitting you down and giving you other options. Don't tell me don't sell dope and don't give me another option how not to sell dope. Don't do that. Like if you're an adult, you're the elder. Our job as the elders now is to educate our. This is why I did that with the kids I told you about.
Yeah.
I educated them on what it is. Now they got a better choice to make. Before they didn't have a choice. They didn't know what it was. But if we don't, as elders, don't step up and do our job and show these kids what it's supposed to look like, then okay, they're gonna stay the same.
Are there enough resources opening up in the community to give other pathways and inspire the kids to look outside of negative things?
There are some resources, of course. I'm not the only one trying, of course not, right? But my thing is more preventative, like.
Well, you talk about like selling dope. Selling dope was never like a career choice. Like I want to be a dope dealer. To me, it was always a means to get out of poverty.
It was a means to want to floss. It was a means to want to look good. It was a means to
because the drug dealer lived a fly life.
Yeah, they did. Of course they did. But I mean, why? What was the purpose of your fly life? Like, what were you really trying to accomplish with that?
To me, it was like that. Like we had so much poverty. This is just me. This is me theorizing.
Okay.
All right. The dope was a means to live a better life because we, at least where I grew up, all we knew was poverty.
Okay.
Right. So the dope dealer, he had the Benz, he had the gold,
he had the females.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the fun that came with, and he had the money.
Yeah.
You know, now, I don't know if we thought long and hard about, am I going to retire being a dope dealer? But it was like, I'm going to do this for a little bit and then maybe move on to something else.
No. Most dope dealers I knew didn't have that mindset. They was going to get the money as long as they can get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can retire as a dope dealer. I don't know. I'm not really sure one dope dealer has retired. They either went to jail or dead.
I mean, we really didn't have the data back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was no study on the situation back then. We were just living in the moment.
There's only one dope dealer that has made it, and that's the United States government. That's the only dope dealer that's really kind of made it.
Exactly.
You know, because everyone they end up in jail or dead. You know.
Exactly.
So why hip hop music? I mean, that's the core way to kind of touch the kids. That's where they're at, and that's where they're listening.
I'm a huge component and fan of hip hop. Like, it saved my life, particularly. Like, when I was going through my poverty issues and my broken home situation, that's what kind of LL Cool J particularly saved my life. That I'm Bad album, the Bigger and Deffer one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, saved my life. But why hip hop is because, like I said before, the music that's in us, our DNA, that djembe drum, which became hip hop, which when they got starved out in the Bronx and they didn't have no school and music classes and all that stuff, and then that stuff came out of their pores basically to create something that would eventually take over the world. Like, that's why I choose it, because it's such a powerful tool for us at this point. And if it got you, it's kind of like when you get bit by a snake. Mm-hmm. They use the venom of the snake to cure you, right? So this hip hop is the venom right now. It's supposed to be our tool of salvation, I'll say, for lack of better words.
Right.
But it's become a weapon against us now.
It has.
It's a complete weapon against us.
It is kind of backfired. You know, we were talking about I don't know, it was Jimmy Iovine or somebody was talking about how we used to. No, it was a guy on Instagram who was talking about the 1996 bill that President Clinton signed and how it has hurt music.
Oh yeah.
And what he was saying was that we used to have so many different genres of music back in the day. We had conscious hip hop, we had hardcore hip hop, and now everything is kind of just
one thing.
It's just one thing, and it's kind of like, what happened? Mm-hmm. You know, and I hope we can get back to a point where we have different levels of more artists like Lauryn Hill, more artists like the Fugees, more Talib Kweli, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More KRS-One. Where's the next generation of that going on?
I mean, they're out there though.
Or is that just going to be in the archives?
The problem is it's reversed now. You used to have to go look for trash music back in the days.
Trash music is coming to your here's the top 10 trash music.
Exactly. Now it's on your front doorstep now. Like, you don't have to go look for it. Now you got to go look for the good stuff. But there's good artists out there still. Of course, everybody goes to the J. Coles and the Kendricks, but there's other people out there, like one of Inglewood's finest, D Smoke.
D Smoke.
Yeah, he's a good one to me. D1 is another good guy out there doing the work. There's a lot of good music out there. You just got to go research it. But unfortunately, that's the world we in.
Trash music.
The trash.
Maybe I'll come up with a playlist. Top 10 trash this week. I like that. I like that. So, what changes have you already seen in young people who've gone through this work, as opposed to who you've exposed to this thinking? I mean, have you seen transformational change from how they came through the program compared to how they left, or is it harder to reach kind of this new generation of kids?
It's definitely, I won't say it's harder, but it's definitely a challenge. But I have seen some kind of headway in my efforts, because the main thing that I do see is that, at least from the parents' perspective, they've become a lot calmer. Like the kids, when you change the trajectory of what they listen to on a daily basis, it automatically brings a calmness around you or about you. They've been more focused. Because when I educate them on the music, I don't just educate them on the music. I educate them on spirituality too. I got to connect it too, because music is spiritual.
Right.
So I have to connect them on both sides, and I can't just connect them on say, hey, that's a bad song, don't listen to that. Like, I got to give you, again, don't tell me not to sell dope and don't show me not how to. Like, I got to show you how this looks on the other end, as far as how you apply this information now in real time. That means
you're telling them why it's a bad song, like what it's doing, like what are the effects of it's doing to their mentality, and how it's kind of like propaganda, and how it can kind of keep you thinking a certain way.
Yeah.
And they're understanding that, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, show me what to listen to.
Yeah. And we do it in contrast all the time.
Okay.
Like I told you, I gave him the message.
Yeah.
Every time we do a song, we take a song from their generation and we take a song from another generation.
Now, do you run up into like that's not how life is anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you say to that? Because these kids, they will challenge you and call you unk real quick. That's not how it is, unk. They'll call you old real quick. But I also love minds that love to like learn and grow. Okay, you know, how do you get them to understand that life is secular, and that the only thing different are other people. Things keep rotating and keep and nothing is new under the sun.
I mean, I hate to change the conversation, but I mean, it goes back to that argument that's been permeating through the community now. It's just LeBron Jordan situation. Like, it's like the ball still bounces, right?
The ball still bounces, right? It's still a game of basketball.
It's still a game of basketball, right? You still got to put it in the hole, right? You still have to. Somebody has to win this game, right? Like, so it's still this. You just. Again, I take some kids. You got a little brother and sister? Yeah. How old are they? They're like 5 years younger than me. Were you once in their age before? Yeah. Do you tell them how it goes to be in the first grade, even though you're in the 12th grade now?
Ooh, that's perspective.
You know what I'm saying?
That's perspective.
Yeah.
That's eye-opening perspective right there. I bet you they're like, okay.
Oh, okay.
A little light bulb just popped up in their mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's dope. I like that. All right. So you're getting through to their minds. You're getting through to them, and they're seeing the contrast, and they're coming through. Are they wanting to kind of help the program out once they kind of graduate through it? Are they coming back? Are they spreading this to their friends? Like, what's the impact that they're having? What's the impact they're having once they leave the program?
They're definitely spreading to their friends, but it's still based upon the parents. Like, the parents have to get involved more. And this is why I did that thing called the Hood Summit that I told you about the other day. Like, this is why I did the Hood Summit, to educate the parents on what PTSD is before I get to the kids. Because I knew I couldn't get to the kids first without parents being on board.
Speaking about PTSD, you've lost a lot of friends and relationships and years to hood-based trauma. How much of Check the Rhyme is you trying to interrupt that cycle before it claims another generation?
Wait, say that question one more time?
I say you lost a lot of friends and years to hood-based trauma. How much of is Check the Rhyme trying to interrupt that cycle before it claims another generation?
How much? Full price. I mean, I want to. Man, look, I'm here to call out. This is my main goal. I'm here to call out every artist that's putting this music into the universe and putting this energy out there. Like, it's time to call these people to the table. One thing that bothers me about our community, like I said before, we normalize too much stuff, right? There's a brother that's in our community that we both know that was responsible for drugs being in our community in massive amounts, right? I won't say any names, but I will say rappers named after him.
Yeah.
Right? And anywhere he goes in the city, it's like he gets the red carpet treatment. I'm like, how is this even logical?
Why are we highlighting?
Why are we highlighting this? I don't understand. But that's the normalization of dysfunction.
He's become an icon.
Yeah.
He's a legendary status, which is weird.
There's
a couple of them that have served time in jail that have become posterized and have legendary status. You know, they spent time behind bars. They've become TV scripts.
Yeah.
You know, movies.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess we have a tendency to want to show our stories off, which I don't know if it's a bad thing. I don't know if because you don't want to necessarily forget these things. They did go to jail. They did pay a price with their life, and the time is. But I don't know if that's something we should be highlighting. I don't know the answer to that. It's not something I would possibly want to highlight, but it is a part of our culture, though, right?
And that's the problem.
Right.
If that's our culture, we're in trouble.
No. I mean, you know, it's. Do you ignore it?
I think every culture has its dysfunction.
Yeah.
We're the only ones who glamorize
Rise
ours.
it.
Like, I don't see anybody else glamorizing the dysfunctional people in their culture. I don't see that.
No.
They don't make movies about their people.
Well, I mean, you know,
they're destroying their community.
No. Usually they're destroying another community.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, you're right on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wish that the one thing I wish is that we do more events like this. We come together as a people and really kind of help each other. The problem is that we're not a monolith. There's so many different nuances to all of us. You know, we're a bunch of tribes that were kind of stuck on a boat that came here, and we weren't one unified tribe. The only thing that unifies us is that we came from one continent. You know, and you think that we would be unified, the fact that we are over on this hemisphere and that we, you know, kind of are stuck over here. But, you know, I mean, maybe this is just one program out of many that will pop up that will help to unify us, starting with our kids and getting them to understand that, listen, the things that you put into your mind, your brain, and your soul affect us later on. So let's start glorifying positive things.
Exactly.
You know, and start pushing, you know, good things out into the universe, starting with music, you know. You coined the term post-traumatic hood disorder. For someone hearing that for the first time, PTHD, it's showing up in our kids. You know, we talked about that. Let's talk about the fundraiser. Why is this a critical fundraiser? Not just for Check the Rhyme, but for the community at large, because we're going to be raising money to put kids through this academy. Why is this a critical fundraiser?
If you care about your kids, this is a critical fundraiser. If you care about your community, because as that song used to say, the children are the future.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I thought it was corny back in the days, but
no, but it's real.
It's real. Like, they were talking to us at the time, and look, we are here in this space. So the children are the future, and the children are right now too at the same time. This fundraiser is really important because, number one, we're calling on the community support, number one.
Okay.
We're not trying to go to the corporate route so fast if we can avoid it. Right? We want to be able to control the narrative as much as we possibly can without any outside influences. So we need the community to get involved. So if you care about what's going on with the children in the community, which I know a lot of us adults do, then you got to get involved with what's happening. Come check out what we're doing, number one. And if it's not for you, that's fine too. But if it is for you, you see what we're trying to do, then please, we need you to come on the first. Where my camera at? On the first to the tribe, 450 Market Street at 4 p.m. Come on out and support what we got going on. But go to the website, most importantly, which is healpthd.com, and go to the event page, and you'll see everything there. But this fundraiser is really important because we need the community support in order to do this. We can't do it without the community.
If they can't make it to the event, can they donate to the event?
Yeah.
where can they go to donate to the event?
Again, healpthd.com.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one more time.
Healpthd.com. That's HEALPTHD.com.
And so they can just the donate buttons on there. They can send whatever they want.
Yeah.
And, and to keep the whole thing going.
Just go to the page I told you. Go to the event page also, because it's different layers of what you want to donate. On that page. Yeah.
Okay. So how long? Well, let me ask you this: how do you have the energy to keep this going up? Because this is a passion call, but it's also a lot of work.
I'm just following my purpose at this point. Like, I can do a whole lot of things in this world. I'm a very talented individual, but at the same time, I was living in Atlanta when I came up with this concept.
Okay.
Well, not technically. I came with the concept about 15 years ago. When I chose to do it, actually, I was in Atlanta about 3 years ago, and I said, you know what? I started in Atlanta at first. I'm like, no, my PTHD starts back home. Let me go back home and get this done. I came back here 3 years ago to get it done. So I'm just following my purpose at this point.
I feel there's a lot of trauma in Atlanta. Yeah. I look at what's going on in Atlanta. I feel like there's a lot of trauma.
The thing about PTSD is
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It is.
Like, it's not just a LA thing. It's not a South Central thing. It's a Atlanta thing. It's a Bed-Stuy thing. It's a Philly thing. It's a definitely a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I think Chicago needs a big hug. I mean, Chicago's one of many cities that needs like a lot of hugs, a lot more than prayers. But just I look at those kids and I look at either the lack of parents or and I don't know what's causing a lot of the violence in Chicago, which has been going on for a very, very long time. But the amount of gun violence out in the streets of Chicago, it baffles me. And it's just so sad to see, because it's just it's nonsense.
I told you, the common thread is poverty.
Yeah, it's like life has become so cheap, and like we were talking earlier, and so normalized. Going back to normalization, what do you think about the role of video games in regards to trauma and normalizing like violence and things like that? Does that play any type of part in this whole situation? And would you maybe in the future kind of maybe incorporate something like this, or have we not got that far yet?
That's pretty interesting concept.
I mean, because before video games got to where they are today, because they were kind of in their infantile back when we were growing up. I mean, Super Mario Brothers wasn't was the thing. People were talking about how it would play on the psyche of individuals. Now you have games like Call of Duty, which are these, war zone type situations. And, speaking about Chicago, I look at, there was a young lady that just lost her life, this couple weeks ago, where, you was a video of it where people were walking down the streets with the chopper and just shooting into a car. Her baby was in the back seat, didn't get hit, by the luck of God, but she and her boyfriend shot up, killed. The boyfriend survived, but that's a common thing in Chicago, and that's that's not kind of normalized in American society, where you see 3 individuals get out of a car with an AK-47 type style gun and just in broad daylight shoot it, and now you see it. It's something out of a video game now. How do you think that we used to hear about this stuff in hip hop music, in rap music? But now you see this type of things in Call of Duty warfare. Do you think that this might play a fact in creating some of this violence out there in the streets also?
I think it does play a fact to a degree, because again, it's all programming. Like there's a African proverb that says, "It's not a person's stupidity, laziness, or lack of initiative that's their problem. It's what's deeply rooted in their mind."
Yeah.
What's deeply rooted in their mind is that these kids today have been programmed DNA wise and for generations now to follow a code. And again, this is why I go back to what I said earlier. It's to your point. Yeah, the video games are playing a part. It's showing them on a consistent basis because it's repetitious.
Yeah.
Like anything you do repetitious creates a program. It's called neuroplasticity. You automatically program
propaganda.
yourself. It's propaganda.
Yeah.
You program yourself to see this, normalize it, and then possibly go act on it one day. But if you see it one day, you're not going to be bothered by it so much because you've seen it so many times.
You know, you kind of get to act it out.
Yeah.
In real life.
life.
And you're a little bit more. You may be a little bit more comfortable with it because you've simulated it so many times on screen.
Exactly.
You know, healpthd.com is where you need to go. We're going to be doing a big fundraiser March 1st. Definitely want to invite you out there. Where exactly does the money go when someone buys a ticket or donates?
So we're going to take 30 kids this summer, and we're going to take them for 10 weeks. And we're going to, I'm not taking them, but we're going to work with them for 10 weeks and educate them on this whole process of how their music is affecting their behaviors. At the end of that 10 weeks, they're going to have a big banquet festival where we're going to bring an artist in. I'm not going to say any names right now, but we're going to bring an artist in to perform for them and then kind of mentor them a little bit too. But it's going to go to these 30 kids to educate them this summer on this whole program that we call Check the Rhyme.
Wow. Okay, so that's big. 30 kids.
30 kids. Yeah.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
You like kids.
I used to be a coach, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I've been dealing with kids for a while.
Okay. I get it, man. 30 kids is a lot. It's a lot of energy up in the room. You know, I'm with it. All right. So we're gonna take the kids concert, teach them about music, and get through to them about what they're putting into their brain. Can you leak out who might show up or what concert might be there, or
again, I got some people on the hook, but at the same time,
okay,
it's all contingent upon the attendance and everything.
Who's going to be or should be in the room March 1st? Parents, educators, former hood kids, donors, artists,
parents, politicians, anybody who cares about the community, particularly. Business owners.
Call to action.
This is a call to action.
Okay.
Like, we can't talk about it. I'm over to talk about what's going on in the community.
And then March 1st, we're going to have a lot of speakers there too, right?
Yeah.
So who's going to be on stage speaking and a lot of talks that are going to be happening?
My brother Donald Hurst is going to be speaking. He runs a reentry program for fathers. Another brother named Damon, he's a professor at Cerritos College.
Okay.
He teaches on hip hop himself. And then one of my favorite people in the world, Delana Zimmerman. Like, she's a therapist, and she's super dope, though. She's super dope. She's a one-woman show by herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. healpthd.com. I want you to get your tickets March 1st. Is where we need to be. 450 South Market Street, Inglewood, at the Tribe. Which I'm excited to see. I saw the outside of the building.
You saw the building.
I think I've seen pictures of the inside, which I've seen looks immaculate on the inside.
Yeah, it's nice in there.
I haven't had a chance to go. I love Inglewood, which is going through this transformation right now, which I'm so happy to see what Mayor Butts is doing with the city. It's just evolving. I tell people to hold on for dear life as this city is just like, it's just in this rapid change. For years, like, you didn't see what was happening, and all of a sudden it's like almost overnight there's just this massive change that's happening out in the city. So what will someone feel when they leave the Check the Rhyme fundraiser that they won't get from scrolling on Instagram or watching another panel discussion? You know?
Number one, the experience of it all, because when you see all these people I just named, and you hear their stories, when you see my presentation that night, because I'm gonna do a full presentation on what PTHD is that night, and I'm gonna do a set too. When you see the performers get down that night, because we got some performers that's going to be getting down, including myself. You're going to have the full rounded spectrum of what this thing is about. And it's going to make you question yourself at some time.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to question? Like, what am I doing enough for my kids? Am I really taking an active part? Because, you know, here's the thing that I have noticed, and I noticed it from my childhood, and I also noticed it from, I think, today, is that parents, not all, but parents seem to put their kids on autopilot, in the sense of they are trying to pay the bills, trying to take care of their own lives, and trying to manage children at the same time too, and not being as active as they need to be in their kids' lives. And so sometimes kids kind of get left alone to their devices, to their music, and maybe this program will show you that, hey, you need to be a little bit more active, or you need need to be more wary about what your kids are doing, or need to check into your kids' lives a little bit more, or maybe you need to get them active in a program like this a little bit more?
Yes, there's a thing called epigenetics.
Okay.
You heard of it?
No, I have not.
So epigenetics is a clinical term where they discovered that what you didn't heal in your life, traumatically, like whatever trauma that you experienced, if you didn't heal it, you give that to your child.
Cycle of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give them good genes and you give them
Bad.
those bad genes. So whatever you didn't deal with in your life, you're literally going to be seeing it in your child eventually.
I see a lot of that passing down into a lot of generations. I see a lot of parents. What I see in the younger generations is like there's a coddling of younger kids, and so like for and it was done out of good intentions. The older generation didn't want their younger kids to want so much, and so they coddled and helped, and this is them kind of helping themselves, because it's like, I struggled this much.
I went through this. I don't want you to go through this.
Right.
But I never fixed it.
Right, and it's like, well, you also didn't allow them to grow.
Exactly.
You did too much for them, and so now they're adults, and so they can't really fend for themselves without your help. And so it's a weird place for them to be 20 and 30 still needing your help. It's a weird situation to be, you know. So you're right as far as like you're passing things down to your kids and creating more unhealthy kids with good intentions sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not saying it's bad intentions.
Yeah.
It just wasn't healed. You never healed yours, so
Yours.
you're coddling kids and you're basically incubating the trauma that you gave them. But one day you're not going to be able to do that for them.
so they're going to come out with education out of this whole thing.
Education. What else could I say?
Education. You're going to be looking at yourself, am I messing my kid up? Am I messed up?
Do I have PTSD?
Do I have problems? Ooh.
Is that why when Too Short comes on the dance floor, what's my favorite word? Like,
why is that your favorite word? Why is that your favorite word?
Ain't no fun if the homies came.
Have none.
187 on the.
Yeah. Why are we even glorifying these things?
Yeah.
And why are we even and you know what? You're not even taking a second look. You're just going with the flow, and it's a party thing, and you're like, why is that my favorite word?
Why is that my favorite artist? Why is that my song? Like why any of that?
It's got a nice beat. I got drunk to the club, in the club with it. Why are you taking away everything fun, man? Why are you taking away everything? This is the problem with going to therapy. Look, I went to therapy for over 10 years, right? And so the problem with going to therapy is that you become more self-aware about why you are who you are and why you do the things that you do. And it's a great self-discovery tool because it helps you grow. But then also you're like, oh God, the world is a different place now, and you start to see
Everything's
things.
clear.
Everything is clear, and then everybody around you starts to become clear. Like when I ask you about, you lose friends, you start to become, I don't want to say unrelatable to people, but you start seeing things in a different world. I say to some people, sometimes too much therapy is a bad thing, but then again, how much do you want to grow in life? You know, you become different. But at the end of the day, this is still a good piece of knowledge to have with you. If you've never done anything, understanding why you are who you are and why you do the things that you do, especially if you want your kids to be healthy at the end of the day.
I mean, the main question we got to ask ourselves, going back to your question, are we happy with the community we have?
I'm gonna say no. But I do want to give the community some credit. I do want to sit there and say that the community is getting better.
Did you not see King Day Parade? Yeah.
I didn't say. Listen. I didn't say it was perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was perfect. And yes, that was truly disappointing to see that level of disrespect
Juneteenth
on Crenshaw Boulevard on Martin Luther King,
on King's birthday.
On King's birthday, and I was like, you know, this is about honoring a man who lost his life to fight for your civil rights, and it's not really a club thing. It's really not even. I don't even know what the hell you were making it out of, and why you would bring that level of disrespect and ignorance to this type of situation. They definitely need a wake-up call and to be at this event. But I do want to say from my upbringing to now, I do see some progress. I see some economic progress. I do see some. I did a show on Fox called Late Night Love, and the number of black therapists I started seeing, the number of educated individuals I started seeing, especially in the African American communities, I'm starting to see more of it. I'm starting to see more people talk about therapy, and so I'm appreciative of that. I'm starting to see more people like you come out with academies and things like this helping young kids. These things were kind of non-existent when I was growing up. So there is some change. We are far from where we need to be. But we're walking, hopefully, in the right direction. There are a lot of knuckleheads in the street that need some type of direction. And, sometimes I say jail is not a bad thing. You know? Sometimes you need to sit down. I mean, you know.
And be silent.
Sit down and be silent and, mature a little bit. I look at Blueface. He sat down for 2 years. He kind of a different person. I don't want you in jail, but sometimes,
Sometimes it's needed.
Sometimes the timeout is not bad.
Yeah.
Someone's on the fence right now. What would you say directly to them?
Depends on what they're on the fence about. But
let's say they're on the fence of like, I give you why would somebody want to heal the trauma, or what can therapy do for me, or like, what's a program going to do for me?
I mean, most people.
Or my kids.
I'm glad you said that. That's where I was going. Most people want their families, their kids to do better than them, right? Like, I don't know any father or mother that wants their kids to do exactly what they've done. You want your family to be better than what you grew up in. You want to advance and move the baton further than what you were able to do. Only way you do that is to work on yourself first and foremost. Again, identify it. I am angry because of this. I do have a temperament issue because of this. I am impatient because of this. I do want money because I don't want to be broke again, because I experience poverty. I am chasing women because I have abandonment issues. Like, we got to deal with that.
You do.
We have to face that. If you want those things to be better than what you have done, you have to face it within yourself.
Chasing women because I have abandonment issues. Oof, it hit home.
Didn't it?
Yeah, it hit home.
Didn't it? Didn't it?
Man, I tell you, listen. All right, just here. If Check the Rhyme Academy succeeds, what does the hood like 10 years from now?
Damn, another good question.
Maybe there's no hood?
No. That's my goal. Like, I'm not stopping just in LA, but that's my goal, is to eradicate and interrupt this normalization of the community that we live in. Like, I'm not saying that, like Tupac said, I'm not saying that I'm going to be the one to make the change, but I'm going to definitely spark the seed that will make the change. I want to plant seeds for people to be able to water, so that we can grow our own gardens of peace and prosperity and unification in the community, as we all probably dream for it to be. But how do you really get to that dream, or actualize that dream without actually
planting the seeds? I mean, you got to do the work. Do the work, plant seeds, and if
the soil.
You inspire someone who inspires someone who inspires someone who inspires someone. You just keep doing the work.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get to a world where there's 2-parent households, and you're living in the suburbs. Everybody's going to school, getting an education, starting a business. And have access to capital, and we are creating music that breeds love and humanity and hope.
I want people to chase currency over character. I mean, character over currency.
Yeah.
Like, chase character before you chase the currency.
Yeah, because I mean, like, why? It's funny. We live in a world where currency has become this whole thing.
It's like God.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, why are we so caught up on it? It messes up your character. It's destructive. It does so much damage because we're chasing an almighty dollar, when in reality it's like we need to be like we're not set up to be living in this society. This is not a society that's made for us. Mm-mm. It does so much damage to us. It's a European society.
We've adapted to it, but hey, look at the toll it's taking, though.
Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful, health and a whole bunch of other stuff. All right, listen, I can't wait for this event. Any final thoughts? Definitely go to healpthd.com, RSVP. If you can't make it, donate. 450 South Market Street, Inglewood. This is going to be Sunday, March 1st, 4 to 9 p.m. Got a lot of great speakers. I'm going to be hosting the event. I want to thank you for letting me host the event. I can't wait to be there. And I just love events like this where they're community focused, but also for a good cause.
Yeah. A party with a purpose.
A party with a purpose. We got the hip hop costume. We didn't really touch on that. What is that? Is your birthday celebration? The hip hop costume. What is that, real quick?
I mean, again, we're dealing with hip hop, so we want to honor hip hop and come in rare form of hip hop. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not asking everybody to go buy and make Adidas rich tomorrow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But let's just come and just have fun.
Throw some flavor.
Throw some flavor on. I got my Kango and my Dookie rope. Okay. I'm ready to do it.
All right, so get your ticket, RSVP at healpthd.com, 450 South Market Street. The Tribe Event Center is where we're going to be at, 4 to 9 p.m. Great speakers. It's for a great cause. We're raising money for the Check the Rhyme Academy fundraiser. And listen, it's for kids. We're going to have some fun, and most importantly, you're going to get yourself educated about a lot of the trauma that you are carrying, how you can help your kids, and most importantly, help yourself at the end of the day. So get your tickets today. It's for a great cause, and we'll see you at the event.
Ashe.
How you feeling about that? Good?
Okay.
All right.